It is no secret that crochet is really big in fashion right now, especially those like high-end, very pricey luxury brands, right? And in my opinion, it's with good reason, because crochet is a handmade craft that requires a certain level of skill to be done. So, luxury. The problem for me with this high-end brands making crochet items is that they're kind of very expensive. Don't get me wrong, I do think that crochet is supposed to be a little bit expensive. Crochet is always handmade, so a skilled person has to be able to handmade them. So we need to pay for that professional, the materials, and the brand. So crochet needs to be a little bit expensive. However, $950 for a bucket hat with a relatively simple stitch. $2,050 for a tote bag. $795 for a bandana. $1,750 for a granny square tank top. $2,250 for a small bag. Might be a reach. Just a little bit of a reach, okay? These are relatively simple to make. And to prove that, I thought we should try to make a luxury bag ourselves. Today I thought we should try and make a PRADA bag, crochet tote bag in more of a bucket style with this triangular crochet pattern. I think this is a little bit more interesting, a little bit different than the other ones that I saw. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's go. Alright, so my name is Carolina. This is Carolina's Closet. Welcome to the channel. Looking at this picture, this is not that big of a bag. They have it in 3 colors, and I want to make a... what's happening? Yeah, a beige one. Let me click it. What the fuck? I think they can see that I'm trying to film it. So I don't know what's happening with the censoring in Prada's website. I think they might not want me to recreate their very recreatable bag. So this is it. It's kind of round shaped, and I really like this triangle. The overall bag is very Prada because of the triangle shape and the triangle logo. All these Prada products are made with a raffia-like yarn. It's not actual raffia, but it's a raffia recreation, and I have some raffia-like yarn, so that's what I'm gonna use. Raffia, by the way, is a very interesting fiber. I think it's originated in Mozambique. Originally, it comes from these palm trees, and they're dried and joined together to make this very interesting fiber that is kind of weather resistant. It looks like a piece of paper, but it's not. And because it's kind of more stiff, it is really good for hats and bags and anything that you're gonna do that's very structured. I will link the article that I read about raffia in the description. I'm using this one, it's viscose. Yeah. Did I buy this yarn to make these projects? Yeah, I kind of did. So I already did a couple of samples. I was kind of trying to figure out the stitch before I started filming this video. This is going to be my first time trying the raffia yarns. I have never done this, so I'm kind of scared. They don't say actually what size of hook to use. I don't think I should use that big of a hook. I'll try it with a 4. It's so strange. I don't know if I should be like twisting it like this. I really don't want to go up a crochet hook size. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just getting used to the fiber. This is a 5mm. This is a 4mm, 4.5mm. I will use the 4.5mm. This is what I think is the pattern that they use. The only way that I figured how to do this triangle is to start from the bottom. Here in the bag, actually, the triangles are facing down like this, which would mean that they start at the brim, like the top of the bag, and go down. But that's not usually how you do bags. Usually for bags, you start at the very bottom, do the base, and then go up from it. You can do just like one big thing. But in this case, I think they do this bottom bit, and then they do this bit up to down, and then they join here. And that's what I will do. I actually did a whole pattern, I guess, based on this photo. So I'll just roughly tell you what I will be doing, and then if it works out, we can catch up in the end with a few graphs and just like visualization. So for the base, I'm going to chain 39 and then go around it twice, increasing in the round parts here. And then I'm going to go up 4 rows just doing double crochets. For this part here, we have to have multiples of 4. For the triangle, I want to do 88 chains and then connect them on the round and then go down, but I'll be going up. I will do 1 row of the triangles, and then I need to start doing this big triangle here where they have the logo, and then I'll just do 4 more rows with just the triangles normally, and then I'll connect them. So that's what I will try to do. I thought this was supposed to be a one-day project, and pattern-wise, I think it's doable. However, because I had never used this yarn and it seems kind of stiff in my hands, I might not be able to finish it today. So let's see how it goes. I will start with the triangle once. It was kind of tough, but I did me 88 chain stitches, and I'll just close. I did think of doing the foundation roll as a double crochet foundation roll, but because I'm not used to that technique and I'm not used to this yarn, I thought it was too many new things at once. Now that I joined these, I'll chain 3. And I will go around in a double crochet row. Hey you all, voiceover girly here. So now I'm about to do just like double crochet row, and I will be speeding up the footage of most of the crochet parts here, and that's because I'm crocheting really slowly because of the raffia, and I'm not used to using the raffia. But this is just a normal standard double crochet roll around and then slip stitch. Right now slip stitch to the first one, closing the round, the circle. I have 1 row done, and it took me way too long. It is very wonky, look. This is going to be the very top, and I want it to be kind of neat. I wanted the top to have the V shapes of the crochet. So this is why I did all of these double crochets using the back loop, which is already harder to do. So that took me a little long. So I start with 5 chains, 2, 5, and then the 4th one I will do 1 single crochet. Ooh. On the 2nd is a half double, on the 3rd is a half double, and then the next one is a double crochet, and on the final one is a triple crochet. Okay, like so. And now I will skip 3, and I will slip stitch on the 4th, like so. This is my first little triangle, and it's going to look like this. Hi friends! So in case you didn't quite catch that, let's go through it again. So you chain 5, and then if you start counting down to up, so from the first one you did is number 1,
the second one you did is number 2. On the number 4, you go and do a single crochet. Girl is struggling. And then on the 3rd, you do a half double crochet. There you go. And then on the 2nd, you do a double crochet. Yeah, let's go. And then on the 1st one, you do a treble/triple. I don't know how you call that, but you loop around the hook twice, and then you go back, and then you do 3 of these. 1. Let's go. You can do it. 2 and 3. Yes. And then you skip 3 of the foundation stitches, chains, I don't know how to call them, double crochets, and you slip stitch in the 4th. Yay, let's go. And then you do it again. Chain 5, yada yada yada. And now let's crochet in the backyard with the wonderful world noises. I'm so glad that all of my neighbors have construction going on and all of them decided to mow the lawns that day. I love noise. I'm so glad that all their properties are looking really, really beautiful. I really am. Love noise. I'm not done with the voiceover. Let's go. Once you complete your last triangle, you're supposed to have a full, exact roll, because we multiplied it, we did multiples of 4. You slip stitch up the first triangle in the way that I'm doing here. This slip stitch will be like your back seam. It's going to be visible. It's going to be different than the other ones, but clothing needs seams. Bags do too. And you go all the way up to the very, very tippy top. And now you just chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. And on the 4th chain, you pick up the next triangle with struggle, and you do another chain. It's a slip stitch, but it creates a chain. And then you just keep doing 3 chains and get the next triangle in the 4th. Blah 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 blah. Same thing. Once you reach the first triangle, you slip stitch that and you do the chain 5 and go up and start the triangles again.
And we have 1 row in. If you count the chain row, we have 2 rows in. My finger is hurting. This yarn is very difficult, and I did try to find some tips and tricks, but I couldn't. So I did a triangle, and then it goes here in the next tip, so I don't have to count anything anymore. And then I'll just keep going all the way around. And I have this 3 stitch markers here, because right now, if you look at the photo, is where we start doing the big PRADA triangle. So I just marked it so I don't forget to make them. This will be the front of the bag, because this is the bag. So for this first row is 3 spots that will be filled in, and then the next one will be 2, and then the other one will be 1, and then we'll make a triangle. Okay, girls, so I'm slip stitching the triangle to the spot where I'm going to do the opposite triangle, and I'm just turning my work like you normally would in a straight piece of crochet, and I'm doing a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and a treble crochet on the opposite way. So I did a chain, I turned, and then I do the opposite: single, half double, double, and treble. And I can speak a lot faster than I can crochet. Who would have thought? Oh, I made it faster. I'm sorry if you're not liking the speed ups, but once you finish, you go all the end till the end of the triangle, you do a chain and you turn the work and you do what we've been doing for the triangles. So single, half double, double, and treble in the same way that we've been doing, but instead of doing it on a chain, you're doing it on that last triangle that you did in the opposite way. So that is your chain instead of the chain. And you do that a couple more times. And then you just keep on going normal, not doing this, because this is annoying. I can't show you what it is right now. out because it's not mine and it's illegal to open other people's correspondence. It's very slow going. This is the cluster of triangles. Next one's gonna be 2 and then the next one's gonna be 1. I am quite hopeful that I can finish at least the triangle panel tonight. My hand's hurting. I tried using the compression gloves. I wasn't able to do one stitch. You want a PRADA knockoff? Well, your hand's gonna suffer. Hey friends, I did not in fact finish it last night. This morning I managed to almost fully get this 4th roll in. I think it's looking similar to the original. It's going extremely slowly. Maybe it's something about this version of raffia that I'm not getting used to. It might be that I'm using a small hook. I think the weave is already too open in comparison to the original, and I don't know if they make raffia smaller than this. Anyway, yesterday I showed you me bringing like a big box. Look at this. Oh my god. If you know, my mom has been getting really into crocheting. Ugh. It's one of those good ones. Like, look at this. Ah! Oh my god! I want this so bad. If you see my mannequin, mine is one of those like very cheap ones.
Basically, I can put a safety pin in like this on mine.
Wow, delicious. I spent a lot of money with my crafts and hobbies. She's on another level, clearly. And she's my inspiration, obviously, because she's my mom. And look, it's like magnetic on top. So, like, she can just leave the pins here. But anyway, I just needed to show you. This has been taking me way too long and I want to know how long. I will time myself for 1 roll. 1 triangle roll plus 1 chain roll that completes the whole triangle. Start, and I'll see how long that takes me. One hour. 1 hour to do this. A row. I'm just not that slow. This is infuriating me. The thing is that I do think that my triangles are a little bit more long and skinny, and the original bag is a little bit more chubbier and like just a little shorter to do 3 more rows of this triangle. So I guess at least 3 more hours for this panel to be done. And then I will work on the bottom. Here I wanted to film a pretty little finishing the panel, last stitch, but I struggled. Cutting the yarn. Wow. Wow, this is it. And that's the seam. I'm going to point out the seam. I didn't, and that's it. Good morning. It's day 3 and I finally finished the triangle part. So I did it like this. I started here and went up, but we're going to use it like this. I'm liking how it looks, and I've been getting compliments in the household. The thing is, it is considerably bigger than the original. Their bag is 18 by 18 centimeters. This is already almost double. I think it's 22 by 26 or something like that. Also, the original is square, and this one, it will be a little bit more rectangular. I will now start the bottom. If my calculations are correct, 39 chains. Okay, so I was in fact wrong, and spoiler alert, I did 34 chain stitches for the base, and then 2 more chains just to do the first single crochet. And then I went around all of these chains with single crochets all the way till
like the first one, and when I got to the first one, I did a total of 4 chain stitches in that one, and that creates the round, so that you go your way back, still on the chain stitches, kind of around the chains. You do a single crochet all the way back, and on the last stitch you do the same that you did to the first one. A total of 4 stitches in that last one, and then you slip stitch to the first single crochet, which is that, double chain. And then, oh my god, sorry, I hate when cars go vroom vroom. I know people love it, but I don't. Anyway, after you do the first 2 chains, you go around again with a single crochet row, and when you get to that point, like the end of the row, you will add more stitches again, but not all 4 in the same spot. You will do 2 single crochets in the same spot in one stitch, and then on the one beside that you will do 2 more in the same stitch. So the 2 like corner border pointed ones, I don't know how to call these, like rounded bit, but you do 2 together, then 2 together, and then you just keep on, like you made yourself go around, and then you go all the way back with the single crochets, and then you do the same thing to the other border like this. And then when I did another row, so I did 3 total rows around. So once you finish this, you slip stitch, and then you chain 2 up, and then you go around, and you keep increasing in the same way that you did now. So 2 in the same stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch, and yeah, slip, all of that. My calculations were in fact wrong. I had to do 34 chains, not 39, so I had to frog a little bit my bottom. And now I'm going to go up a little bit. I need to go 4 rows up with double crochet, and I'm going to work only on the outside loop of the stitches so that it creates a little crease here in the bottom, and it just goes up instead of outside. I think that's how bags work. Yeah, as I said, we're still going around, but now I chained 3 to go up, and I'm doing double crochets only on the back loop of the previous row, so I'm not getting the full stitch, and also I'm not increasing anything. It's all following the same pattern, no increases, no decreases, just using the back loop. Once you're done with that row, you slip stitch, your way around, and then you chain 3 and you do a row of double crochet, but normal this time. We get the loop normally. We don't go on the back loop. We go in the 2 loops in the whole full stitch, and we would do 3 more rows of double crochet. So it's a total of 4 rows of double crochet, but the first one was on the back loop only, and the other 3 are normal. And you cut your thread, and you don't forget to weave in the ends. And I wove more than I did here. I cut the clips, but I did a whole lot of weaving. So I finished the base of our bag. Look at it. Oh my god, it's so sturdy. I have never done a bag before, but along the years of just looking at crochet stuff, I've seen people doing bags with this technique, and I think it's a standard one. And if it wasn't for the design being in this way, and we wanted to do it this way, we could just do like one continuous thing. So we start in the bottom and then go all the way up like this. And in the original design, in the photos, it does look like there is this seam, the seam that I'm about to do, joining these 2 panels, because there is this like junction of chains. Anyway, I will just stitch them together with the same yarn that I've been using. I don't know if I should maybe use a fishing wire or a nylon yarn that's a little bit more sturdy, like resistant, but I haven't had no issues with this yarn. It's pretty sturdy, pretty resistant. It did not tear at all. So I'll just use the same yarn with a tapestry needle to stitch these. The next thing that I'm gonna do is the handles. I wasn't sure of what to do. I wasn't sure of any technique, so I just stitched a very long cord. I did 115 chain stitches, and then I went around with half double crochets one way and then back, and then I just joined them with a tapestry needle. Yay!
I finished the bag. Let's do a little montage, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, her.
Alright, there's obviously a step missing. That would be to embroider Prada Milano here in the big triangle. And I'm not gonna do that. I am sorry. I'm not in the business of duping, and this couldn't really pass as a dupe. And this is not a Prada bag. This is a bag made by myself. I thought about embroidering my name, doing like Lena or like Carolina, but I'm not going to. I think it's fine like this. I might gift it as well, so I'm just gonna leave it plain and simple. I would like to share with you some measurements, some like pricing info, talk about how I would tweak my pattern in case you want to try this for yourself. So the bag weighs 169 grams. Everyone uses grams, right? So we have a little bit of yarn left over. I do think this could maybe possibly be enough to make the bucket hat. If we talk about the yarn, so my yarn was 200 grams and it was 129 Brazilian money. And that would be 21 American dollars-ish. I made this for $20. Shocking. I do think it's shocking because the original price is 1,750. So if we include my labor, I took 3 days, but I didn't work on the full days. Let's just say 16 hours. I do think that the professional artisans would be a little faster than I was, so I would just say 16 hours. If I was to say $10 an hour for my labor, that would mean $160 for labor, $20 for materials. That's $180 bag plus shipping costs if I was to sell this. If I was to charge like 100% for brand operations, it would be like 180 times 2, how much that is? 360. That's a luxury price for my handmade bag. Not even half of what Prada charges. There is the embroidery as well, so we could add like another couple of hours for the embroidery, but still it's nowhere close to the price that Prada charges. And the Prada bag is actually done in Madagascar. According to Google AI, which I don't know how trusty that is, but according to Google AI, the monthly average wage in Madagascar is 230 American dollars. Let's just say Prada pays our workers really well for where they live, and Prada pays like 400 American dollars a month for their artisans who live in Madagascar. Let's just say that's the case, okay? The daily wage would be $18. If we take 3 days to make each bag, that's $54 for labor, for like a fair wage for labor costs, considering that their labor is outsourced in Madagascar. 54 American dollars per labor cost per handmade bag plus the materials. So let's say that they spend $80 for the manufacturing of the bag, plus I don't know how shipping costs, how shipping works. That's an insane margin. They are charging 1,750. Oh my god. So if we want to talk pattern, let me just recap what I did. So the bag has 3 parts: the body, which is the part with the triangles, we start top down, and then the base, so we start base up, and the 2 handles. What I did was, for the body, 88 chains, and that creates 22 triangles, because the triangles work every 4 stitches. The triangles, just recap, are chain 5, and then single crochet, half double crochet, treble crochet, skip 3 chains, and slip stitch in the 4th to make the full triangle. And then once you're done a row, you go around it with a row of chain stitches, picking up the tips of the triangles every 4 stitch. And then for the full bag is 8 rows of the triangles. So the first chain, 1 row of double crochets, and then 8 rows of the triangles. If you want to make the big triangle, you have to start that on the 2nd row. For my bag, the base, I did 34 chains, and then I went around that 3 times, increasing 4 stitches every round. I did 3 rows around, so total of like 6 rows. And then you go up with however many stitches you have around. It would technically supposed to be 88. The first row of double crochet you do on the back loop only, and then the next 3 is just the same, and then you stitch the bottom and the body. And for the handles, I did 115-ish chain stitches, and then I went half double crochet one way and then the way back. If I was to try it again and do another one to try and make it a little bit more like the original one that we got inspired by, I would do less triangles. So I think I really calculated wrong. When I calculated how many triangles I needed per row, I calculated 4 triangles for this corner here where it goes around, but because I considered that the bag is quite chunky, you know. But what happens actually, that it seems to me now that I've made one, that the bottom is chunkier, but it slims up. So instead of doing 22 triangles per row, I would do 18 or maybe even 16, but let's just calculate with 18, so 2 in each corner. For that, I would do 72 chains, and I will go around, do the big triangle in the same spot that I did it. And then for the base, what I would change is that I would just make more. So I did 3 times around, I would double that. So I would do 6 rows around, which would mean I would have like 12 rows. And for that, I think I would have to chain 24 and then go around and do the same thing that we've been doing. So if you are going to try it, I would do this second version with the 18 triangles instead of the 22, which was a lot. Feel free to screenshot. I came up with these numbers by looking at the photos on the website. If you do use these numbers to make a bag, feel free to like send me on Instagram or let me know here on the comments. I would love to know if I inspired you to make this bag and you actually did that. I'd be so happy. I mean, a lot. I love when people are like, oh, you inspired me to do this and you inspired me to do that. That's actually really nice. I love inspiring people to craft, because that's what I do. About the making, you guys noticed I had a lot of trouble with the raffia. It hurt my fingers a lot. I did not have a good time with it. And furthermore, I would like to say that one of the reasons why the bag is really big is that I used a 4.5 millimeter. I do think that the original bag has a smaller hook size, and I know that I could have used a smaller hook size because I did the handles with a 2.75. It was hard, but it was also hard to use the 4.5. I did not get acquainted with the yarn. It was really hard for me. So, you know, if it's going to be hard, I would rather have done it with the 2.75 because I think it would look prettier. If you're going to do this, I would probably try and work with at least a 3. I did mine with a 4.5, so it looks fine, it looks good. But if I was to do it again, I would try to work at least with a 3. That's just my bias. I like small hooks, I like the small yarns. And the raffia, you can fold it in itself. This is it. I bought for way too much, and I have over 4.5 hours of footage that I will have to shrink down into hopefully a 20-30-ish minute video, because 4 hours is just way too much. Let me know if you like the result. Let me know if you're going to try and make one. If there are any other designer, crochet, knit projects that you would like to see me try and recreate, let me know. Or any other kind of DIY project that you kind of want to see someone do. Maybe I can be that person. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you would like to see me again, consider liking the video, comment down below, whatever you want. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye bye.